Hey everybody! I wanted to spend some time today talking to you about things your customers and challengers may struggle with in a challenge group and some things that you as their coach can do to help them see success, finish and complete their programs, and most importantly, reach their goals. I've been a coach for 5 years, and some things that I have learned along the way and things that I've adjusted along the way or navigated as we've had changes with challenge groups and maybe where people are plugging in. But the common themes kind of always stay the same in terms of what it is that trips up your challengers and what it is that might be holding them back. And the first thing that I wanted to talk about was distractions. Sometimes in our groups, we are coming at them from a lot of different angles and putting our heart and soul into these groups and providing such valuable content. But sometimes it might be a lot for somebody that isn't used to spending maybe this much time surrounded in a Facebook group or a challenge tracker group, and so they might miss a lot throughout the day. And so something that I have really tried to be very mindful of is making my challenge groups really easy to navigate so that anybody can come in regardless of what their knowledge and background is with Facebook or the My Challenge Tracker app, and they can be plugged in right away. So some things, for example, are having a daily check-in post, just one post, where under that post your challengers are going to check in with their workout, with their shake, with their performance line, with their meals, with their recipes. And so it keeps everything together in one place. And when I simplified and started doing this, it just started making everything so much easier because they had one place to check in for the day rather than just posting openly in the group and then having to come in and it being noisy, lots of noise on the feed. So daily check-ins have really helped. Another distraction that I found when we transitioned from our DVDs to our Beachbody On Demand model, I found a lot of my customers were struggling to really kind of pick a program and then stick with it. And before we had Beachbody On Demand, it was helping them select the program that was best for them, giving them the tools that they needed to get started and helping them navigate through just that one program. And I haven't changed any of that with Beachbody On Demand. I really work with my customers when they come in to find the best fit program for them at that time that's centered around their goals. We can work towards a 6-month plan of which programs we're going to move on to next, but really keeping them focused and starting and finishing a program, because I don't want to see them jumping around. They never get that sense of completion, that check mark that so many need to be able to say, I finished it, right? That doesn't mean it was perfect, but it was completed. I got through 21 Day Fix, and now what's next? What should I move on to? So really helping them stay focused and committed to choosing one program, not doing a mashup of a million different programs at once. And so that has really helped me to be able to keep my customers really focused and engaged, regardless if the group is all doing the same program or there are several different programs going on. Everybody is on their own journey and they are focused on whichever program it is that we decided to start them with as it wraps around their goals. The other common thing that I see that trips up my customers a little bit is tracking. It's staying accountable to their tracking and being honest with their tracking. So when I'm checking in on them and I'm asking for feedback and how things are going, and I don't really have any baseline measurements. So I love the My Challenge Tracker app because it helps me see where they're strong and where we might need to improve a little bit, right? Because I can see how many days of Shakeology have you had? How many days of workouts have you done? And let's work from there. Let's use that as some metrics so we have a place to work from. If you're running your groups on Facebook, try using polls. Maybe at the end of the day, having everybody log who finished their Shakeology, who got their work in. So rather than you having to scroll through the page as the coach, which may be really hard depending on how big your group is, you have all the information that you need right there with the polls. So that's another way to keep people accountable, to have that conversation with them and say, I haven't seen you log your workout or your shakes. Let's do that so that I can see where you're at. We can use that as some measurement plus some conversation. The other pieces that I see that seem to really maybe hold some of my customers back from truly reaching their goals is belief and also confidence. And these two are so intertwined together, yet they're very separate at the same time, because we as their coach have to pour belief into people. We know that we are probably the people that are going to believe in them long before they believe in themselves. And so we have to make sure that our content, our challenge groups is sort of wrapped around squashing that self-doubt and those self-limiting behaviors and mindset that they've given themselves. Taking something from your personal development that day and bringing it back to your challenge group and breathing life into them, because oftentimes, so many of the things that you might be struggling with as a coach is very similar to what your customers might be struggling with, but on just maybe a different level. And so you might tweak it depending on what you're noticing. I oftentimes will take the conversations I'm having behind the scenes with my customers as I'm checking in, and they're telling me the struggles they're dealing with, or the belief that they're dealing with, or not that they're struggling with, and I bring that back into my challenge group, because what is so important is distracted by the cat here. What I want to make sure is that I'm addressing these as they are needed, because I guarantee they're not alone. They're not the only person that's facing this. They're not the only person that's dealing with self-confidence or self-belief. Other things, because then I'm bringing my personal development into the group, I'm also kind of setting the tone that if you want to change, you've got to pour into yourself. If you want to grow, you want to raise your lid, you have got to get yourself surrounded with knowledge. And that's personal development, which is, of course, a huge piece of what we do as coaches, but maybe not something that most people are used to doing yet. And so you're kind of breadcrumbing that piece in there. But I'm not an expert in so many areas, or really many areas, right? I'm a mom, I'm a coach, I'm a wife, I'm a former teacher, but in terms of belief and confidence, that's not my area of expertise. I'm sharing my story, but I certainly can point them back to books that have really helped me, or sharing podcasts, things that are going to kind of help them level up or get over the hump of whatever might be holding them back. You could also run a book club. I've done this during months where we've themed it, self-confidence project, and chose a book that kind of fits around that. And your daily check-ins can be your workout, but then your daily check-ins can also be about what they took away from what they're reading, because we know that health and fitness is just a piece of the puzzle. If they are not excelling in the stuff on the inside, they're going to sort of hit a plateau, or they're going to hit a bump in the road where they don't quite know how to navigate past that. And so we can help them, provide them with the tools to help them get there. And that is through personal development or podcasts or whatever you're listening to, right? Share that. Bring that back into your groups. It's the same thing with confidence. Share stories. Share success stories of people that are in this group. Ask for their permission, because sometimes I have somebody that maybe they struggle with the same things. It took them a while to navigate through, but here they are, completely rocking their journey. Give people hope to know that you can get there too. It's one step at a time. Here are the tools. Here's the roadmap they used. We know that everybody's map to success is going to look very different and very individualized, but we can point them in the direction of the tools. And so in your challenge groups, you be aware of what's going on. See where people are getting stuck, and how can you provide and implement some small tools into your group to make those little changes. And when you do that, it's amazing how many more people start to progress and finally cross that finish line and get that much closer to their goals.